Hi, welcome to let's see what we end up doing, about 20 minutes gentle yoga practice here today. When you're ready, you can meet me in a comfortable seat on your mat. Maybe bring the right leg forward if that feels available to you today so that we have an opportunity to switch legs. And then just settle in. Feel free to shift the weight from sit bone to sit bone. Maybe shift forward and backward. Let the eyes soften or even close. And eventually allow your body to find its own center, its own stillness, bringing the hands somewhere onto the knees or the lap. Without straining anything, just do a little alignment check with your spine without forcing anything. And you reach the crown of the head gently up. And press the back of the head back a bit so that your neck is in line with the rest of the spine. So the shoulders right over the hips, head over heart, heart over pelvis. And you can stay here with your hands where they landed if that feels comfortable for you today. Something that I like to do as I tap into the breath is kind of give my rib cage a hug. So if that feels interesting to you, you can join me there. Cross your arms in front of the chest and reach your fingers for the outer edges of your ribs. Take a few deep breaths here. As you inhale, see if you can feel the ribs move out into the hands if you took your fingers there. And then as you exhale, let the ribs just recoil back into center. Neck softens, shoulders relax. Two more deep breaths here, breathing in. Maybe you feel the ribs in the back, pressing back behind you a bit. Long exhale. Anytime you want, you can sigh the breath out through the mouth. Last big breath right here, in through the nose. This time let the belly fill and expand. Feel the rib cage expand out, but also lift upward. Pause at the top of the in-breath. Let it swirl around your whole body. Open mouth exhale when you're ready. Blink the eyes open. If you've closed them down, and just look over your right shoulder and release the hand somewhere that feels comfortable in your lap. Look over your left shoulder, just checking in with how the neck is moving today. Not judging anything. If it feels sticky, move over to the right and back to the left a couple more times. And start to move the head in any way that feels interesting or productive. You might take little circles or half circles, bringing the chin to the chest. Just checking in with how the upper spine is moving. Bring the head back through neutral. Bring your right hand down outside of your right hip. Lift the left arm up. Take a side bend over. So left arm's reaching over to the right here. And feel free to adjust the right hand. Keep anchoring your left sit bone down. I'm going to check in with the shoulder while we're here. So bring the left hand, the palm to the back of your head. Left elbows pointing up. And then you're going to bring your left hand back up, flip the palm around to face backward, and bring the back of your hand toward the middle of your back between your shoulder blades. So do that a couple times, just bringing the palm back to the back of the head, and then the back of the hand back to the mid-back. Just playing around with how that left shoulder is moving. Feel if you can find it moving really smooth through the joint space, and if that's not the case, maybe adjust the range of motion or slow it down. Slowing down is like a constant goal of mine when I'm practicing, so I invite you to work on slowing down with me if that feels like it would serve you well. The next time your left arm is reaching up overhead, pause, take a nice big stretch, circle through the wrist. And then take a forward fold. Walk your hands right in front of the shins. Pressing the palms down just a little bit to send the sit bones into the mat underneath you. So you can think about hinging the hips as opposed to rounding the spine if you feel your thumb lifting up. And then while you're here, we'll take a couple deep breaths, see if you can mobilize again the rib cage, especially the back of the ribs. So breathing in, feeling the ribs on the back of your torso, expanding and lifting, stretching away from one another. And then feeling with your exhale, the rib cage recoiling in, and you feel the shoulders ungrip a bit. One more breath. And slowly walk the spine up through center, finding neutral. And then when you're ready, we're going to take our side stretch over to the other side. So left hand comes down, right arm comes up. Just pausing and finding that space in the right side body to start. And breathing a little bit more deliberately into your right lung. And then we'll add the little shoulder check-in. So palm of the hand comes to the back of the head. And as you lift that arm up, flip the palm around, bring the back of your hand toward the middle of your back. You might notice that the range of motion is a little different on this side. I know for me, my right shoulder just needs a little more TLC. It's reminding me to go slower. Continue to take nice deep breaths. Softening through the right side of the neck. Softening around the mouth. The next time you reach your right arm up, go ahead and extend it over to the left. Soften through the wrist and the fingers. Breathe in. This time we're going to take a very gentle little back bend. So you can bring the hands back behind you. Bring the hands pretty close together. Untangle your legs. Knees bend. And then press the chest up. Shoulder blades draw in toward the spine. If it feels good in the head and the neck, feel free to tilt the chin upward. Otherwise, just keep the cervical spine, the neck in line with the rest of the back here. Relax the face. Really great counter stretch for a lot of the kind of seated posture that happens for most of us with the shoulders rounding forward and protracting. So we're retracting the shoulders and bring them down. One more breath. And then release. Work your way to your hands and your knees. We'll set up for child's pose for a moment. So bring the knees nice and wide. Big toes come close together as you press your hips back towards your heels. And let the upper body melt any of the muscles that picked up some tension or doing those side bends. Just allow gravity to help relax the muscle away from the bone. And stay here just for another moment. Walk the arms forward and bring the hands as close together as you can so the elbows are coming right next to the head. Bring the palms together, point the fingertips up toward the ceiling, and then maybe reset the elbows, walking them even closer together, opening up to the underarms. Release the hands down, work your way up to all fours. A little gentle wrist release, turn your right fingertips around towards your right knee. And lift the heel of the hand and sink the hips back, or keep the heel of the hand down as you sink the hips back. Not forcing anything, just finding some space in the inside of the right wrist. And then switch. Left fingertips turn around toward the left knee. Make sure you're still breathing, nice and smooth breath, and that the face feels relaxed. So usually a sign if you start to feel the jaw clench up or the brow furrow, that we're pushing the body past a place that's really productive for this moment. All right, release. Bring your right leg long on the mat back behind you, tucking the right toes. Might feel good to rock forward and backward. Stretch into that calf for a moment. Might also feel good to kind of circle out through that foot. You can lift the foot up and circle the ankle if you'd like. And then we're going to bring the right leg over to the left, maybe all the way outside of your mat, looking over your left shoulder for a moment. We're setting up for Gomukhasana, for cow face. So bring your awareness to your left foot. That's the one with the bent knee. Slide the left toes over to the right of it so that there's space to bring that right knee right beneath the left, right behind it. And then walk the hips back. Separate the feet as much as you need. The idea is to land with the left leg on top. So there's no like rule book that says that the knees need to actually be stacked. You could sit kind of in a crisscross position. Left leg on top is the objective here. And then notice the stretch in the outer edges of the hips. And bring the hands forward, push the palms down into your mat, press your hips back. Start to incorporate as much or as little of a forward fold as feels available in your body. Be here for a handful of deep breaths, bringing your awareness into the sensation of the stretch. Checking in if there's any bit of muscle tension in the jaw or the face or the neck that you might be able to soften. One more deep breath here. And then if you added a forward fold, start to lift the chest. We're going to keep the right knee, the bottom knee where it is, but slide your left leg out to the left, bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. So finding like a half butterfly here. With a long spine, bring your left hand to your right knee and find a spinal twist. Gently finding that rotation. Feel that the pelvis is pretty much squared up here, so we're not really rotating through the pelvis or even through the lumbar spine, but bringing that twisting action, that rotation, up to the area around the belly button and then upward. Slowly look over your right shoulder and then look over your left shoulder. Moving back to that little neck check here. Get side to side a couple times. Then you're going to keep your left hand where it is. Reach the right arm up. Take a side bend, bringing that right arm toward your left foot. Opening up through the right underarm. Totally fine to have a bend in that top arm. Breathe into the right lung. Kind of fill into that right side waist area. And then release that side bend. Work your way back to your hands and your knees. No rush to get there. Bring the hands down. Circle the shoulders over the wrists. Circle the hips over the knees. Stay spacious in your lower back so you're not arching into the low back. Switch the direction of the circles. Unless you're choosing to take cow pose, which is fine too. Just being mindful of how the pelvis is moving, feeling supported through the trunk and the abdominals. Come through center when you're ready. We'll take the other side. So left toes tuck, bring that left leg back behind you. Check in with your left calf and ankle. You might lift the foot and circle through the ankle. And you really move through the toes if you've been on your feet a lot today. And then look over your right shoulder, lift the left foot enough so that you can bring it over to the right. Setting up for that cow face, Gomukhasana posture, bring your right toes over to the left a bit to make some space. And then bring that left knee to the mat behind the right knee. Feet are pretty wide as you walk your hips back towards your heels. So this time, the main thing to focus on is just that the right leg is on top. It does not matter how aligned the knees are. We're going for sensation and stretch. So what's going to make a difference in your life is not whether or not the knees stack here, but whether or not you're getting a productive stretch in the outer edges of the hips. You can incorporate a forward fold if that feels like the body's welcoming it. Maybe let the head relax. And just notice the sensation of the breath again. And just one more long breath in the version of this cow face pose that you landed in. Letting some tension dissipate if that feels available. And then walk the hands back if you were in a forward fold, lifting the chest up. Keep the bottom knee where it is. We'll set up that half butterfly on this side. So right leg comes long, left foot lands somewhere inside of the right thigh. And then take a twist, bringing your right hand to your left knee, finding that rotation, really focusing on belly button area upward. Something that's really common in these seated twists is for folks to want to tip the chin up. And for today, just see if you can find rotation by keeping the chin and the nose level, but looking from shoulder to shoulder. So focusing more on spinal rotation here than spinal extension. Sometimes that extension makes it feel like we're doing more, makes it feel like we've got a bigger range of motion. But in reality, we've just added a different range of motion entirely. Right, keep your right hand where it is. Lift the left arm up. Roll long through the left side body, and then take your side stretch, reaching the left hand toward the right foot. Letting go of any arbitrary goal of touching it. Breathing into the left side of your waist, the left side of your ribs. Maybe even letting the right ear kind of dangle so that you're breathing into that space in the left side of the neck. One more big breath here. And then release that side bend. Meet me on your back, on your mat. Again, without rushing. I had a personal training session today with the client and dealing with like some body stuff. Bring the knees into the chest when you land on your back, and then circle the knees in opposite directions. And one of the things that we agreed on was to really set the tone to send a message to the body that we're coming in peace, right? Anytime we're doing any kind of movement practice, it might be easier in a gentle yoga class like this to access that mindset, that attitude that we're coming in peace, to support our body, switch the direction of those circles. That really may be allowing that state of mind to transfer to anything that you do with your body, so that the focus is on supporting yourself and building yourself up instead of like going to war with it or breaking yourself down. Drop the right foot. Yeah, we'll do the right foot. Drop the right foot onto the mat underneath your right knee, and then bring your fingers to the back of the left knee. Lift the left leg up, maybe flex and point through the toe or move through the foot in any way that feels good. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep the left leg long. Slowly lower the left leg all the way down to the mat in front of you. Draw the right knee in, and then guide the right knee across the body for a spinal twist. Roll into the outer edge of your left hip and thigh. You can tee the right arm or cactus it out to the side, do whatever feels supportive and comfy on that right shoulder. The nose might point straight upward. You can play with nodding your chin to the right. Any more passive version of that spinal rotation here. Everybody come back to the center, bring both knees into the chest. You can circle the knees again, or if it feels good, reach and give the knees a gentle squeeze, bringing them in as much or as little as feels good. And this time the left foot lands underneath the left knee. Bring the right leg up and releasing your fingers behind the thigh or the knee somewhere, and then move through your right foot. See how much movement you can create in the toes and the ankle. Spread the toes and then curl the toes in, really make a fist with your foot. When you're ready, slowly lower the right leg onto the mat in front of you. Bring the left knee into the chest and then guide it across the body for a spinal twist. Come back to the center one more time, bringing the knees into the chest before you set up for Shavasana. And then move around in any way that feels good, massaging the lower back, the back of the hips. Eventually working your way into a final resting pose where you can just invite some stillness into the body. Take your time to extend the legs. Bringing the feet wider than your hips. Let the arms drop down by your side, letting the palms turn up. Maybe shrugging the shoulders underneath your body a little bit more. We'll stay here for just about a minute or so together. Allow the muscles in the back of the scalp to melt. Relax across the back of the shoulders and down the length of the arms. And the palms of the hands soften. Like a wave, relaxing the trunk, the chest, the belly, the pelvis. Letting that wave move down through the thighs. Feeling into the space of the knees and the lower legs. Relaxing down through the ankles, into the feet. Softening the soles of the feet all the way to the tips of the toes. And listen for the sound of my voice just in another 20 seconds or so to close together. If you have longer to practice Shavasana, feel free to shut off the video. Start to deepen your breath. Bring some gentle movement into the ankles and the wrists. And ease yourself from your back up to a seat. Consider inviting that same slower pace with you for this transition. When you land, bring the hands to the heart, either in Anjali Mudra with the palms pressed together against each other and the thumbs against the breastbone, or bringing the palms literally to the heart space. Sit up tall into your hands, into your thumbs against the breastbone, or the palms against the ribs. We'll close here, just affirming that you did enough, you are enough. May this practice support you in your endeavors to be well. And in that support, may this practice give you a little bit more fuel to take care of the people around you as well. Thank you for joining me. Got away without a barking dog somehow.